Madarura ale bute bute ibu domu kau amangmu ale bute musutai kon sau tahu ale bute musutai kon sau tahu ale bute doge idoge doge doge idoge doge doge idoge doge tungolan rohamu ale bute pai matora marang sura ale bute pai matora marang sura ale bute palang merah ale bute palang merah di negara ale bute doge 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 idoge kalimat jadi burung enggan. Nyati nungo kita, nyatinya tuh kita suku Dayak. Panglima burung uang ngelah ya yatinya gak uang kita. Yatinya tuh suku Dayak Kalimantan yati nungo tanah ngau ada kita. Sanga engkana kisah urang.
Hey everyone, it's nice to see you again. Welcome to the 5-day of summer course on Indonesian traditional games from Faculty of Humanities Diponegoro University with me again, Kunti Rahayu Normaningtyas, and today we will discuss about traditional games related to strategy, And today we will be accompanied by Mrs. Etta Farmasialia PhD, our special lecturer from Diponegoro University. But before it, as usual, I want to say hello to our friends and participants that already joined this meeting. Hello for the participant from India and Philippines and South Korea and also from Russia and also from Pakistan. Selamat sore, Nisa. Selamat sore, Sazia Aslam.
Selamat sore.
And selamat sore, Citra, and also Pavel. Hey guys, welcome back to this course. And hopefully you guys are doing fine. I also want to remind you to our Zoom meetings rules. Number 1, please change the virtual background with summer course virtual background that already shared in the WhatsApp group. And 2, write down the username with the format name_origin, for example, Punti_underscore Indonesia. And number 3, participant must dress politely and behave during the course. Number 4, all the participants must turn off the loudspeaker or microphone during the event, as they are invited to speak by the host or moderator. Number 5, all the participants are required to fill the attendance link. The attendance link will be shared in the Zoom chat column. And for the last, participant can ask questions in the chat Zoom column with the format name_origin_ the question, or using feature raise hand, and you can directly deliver your question. So, okay, today my partner is Ilham Awalia, and she will be the moderator for today's session. So without any further ado, let me hand over you to the moderator. Please, Ilham.
Thank you, Punti. Well, everyone, as Punti said that I'm your moderator today, I will guide you to the discussion and sharing sessions about traditional games related to strategies. And before we start the lecture from our speaker, I'm going to show you a short video that tells us about Gobak Sodor. Gobak Sodor is a traditional game that needs tactical ways to win the game. So everyone, please enjoy the video.
The variety of traditional games in Indonesia is endless to talk about. Apart from relying on physical abilities and agility, there are traditional games that prioritize strategy. Gobak Sodor is a popular game often played by children in many regions at the time.
Oke, sekarang kita berhitung 1, 2 ya. 1. Nggak boleh kesentuh tangannya, nggak boleh kesentuh badannya ya.
Gobak Sodor or Galah Asin is one of the original traditional games from the special region of Yogyakarta.
Kalau Gobak Sodor itu biasanya orangnya 5 berarti kali 2, kurang lebih 8-10 orang. Biasanya kan kita bikin kotakan gitu ya. Kotakan itu ada 1, 2, 3, 4, ada yang 4, ada yang 6. Jadi nanti lawannya itu nanti berdiri di setiap garis. Misal ada yang di depan, garis ini garis pertama, garis kedua, garis ketiga. Berarti ada 3 orang ya. Terus biasanya ada yang garis kayak gini, garis bagi 2-nya itu juga biasanya ada orang, ada yang jaga kayak gitu. Jadi nanti yang main duluan masuk. Nah nanti tugasnya masuk ke kotak-kotak itu. Terus tugasnya yang main itu gimana caranya bisa melewati setiap kotak tanpa kena pegang sama lawannya kayak gitu. Biasanya itu sampai keluar, setelah itu gimana caranya dia bisa masuk lagi, terus lolos lagi ke start tadi, balik lagi ke start tanpa dipegang temennya gitu.
One team would take the role of a blocker and the other would take the role of a striker. Gobak Sodor is played on a square-shaped field, and the border is lined by chalk. Positions of the striker and blocker will be exchanged if the blocker touches the striker. Gobak Sodor is a team game with many movements to sharpen the children's strategy.
Kan ada kayak berapa kotak gitu ya, bisa masuk dari 2 pintu gitu ya. Nah itu mungkin filosofinya lebih ke kalau yang satu pintu ini kan dijaga sama orang lawannya gitu ya. Kita jadi ada 2 pilihan. Misal kita punya tujuan, ada pilihan 2 pintu. Kalau pintu ini ketutup masih ada yang lain. Makanya gimana caranya kan bisa masuk tanpa ada halangan kayak gitu kan. Terus nanti juga keluarnya pun juga kayak gitu.
That full strategy game can increase children's intellect, especially in decision making. Its decisions taken will affect the team and is relevant in daily life. This game also has deep meaning to teach children to choose which way is good and which one is not to reach a destination.
Well, now I want to introduce you to our speaker today, Ma'am Etta Farmacelia Nurul Hadi, SSM Hum, MA PhD. She's a lecturer in the English Department, Faculty of Humanities at Diponegoro University. And she's among the very few Indonesian scholars who have won 2 Fulbright grants. With the Fulbright Master's Degree Scholarship, she went to Kansas University and earned her 2nd master degree. The deeply-funded Fulbright grants for Indonesian lecturers allow her to pursue her doctoral study at Louisiana State University and earn her PhD. She has a strong commitment to contributing to the advancement of higher education in her beloved home country, Indonesia. And as for her academic qualification, she's got her bachelor's and master's in English literature from Diponegoro University. And she pursued her 2nd Master of Arts in English Literature at Kansas University, United States. And he earned her PhD in United States as well, which is at Louisiana State University. So without any further ado, Ma'am Etta, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Punti. And hello, good afternoon, everyone. It's really great to have you again here. So we still have some loyal participants today. So we have participants from India, Pakistan, Russia, the Philippines, and South Korea. So welcome back again. This is our 5th day, and this is the last day of presentation of material. Tomorrow we are here, I, Pak Arido, and Bu Yaning are going to facilitate you to, when you share your traditional games from your beloved countries. Okay, so today we are going to talk about traditional games. So there will be some traditional games that we have been talking about this week, but there will also be some traditional games that we haven't really talked about. So hopefully we can have interesting and lively discussion. I really enjoyed our meeting yesterday because we really had lively, interactive discussion, interesting, and you shared a lot, even you share your strategy in winning particular games. So today we're going to talk about games, still traditional games, but we are going to focus on strategy. So hopefully we can talk more about the traditional game and strategy, and you can share, even if, let's say, when we talk about a game, a traditional game that you have never heard about, maybe you can, let's start thinking about how to play the game strategically. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Before before we start talking about strategy, I'm going to make some recap of what we have learned so far, what we have talked about, what we have discussed about traditional games from the first day to this is the 5th day. So let me share my screen. Yeah, or okay, so strategy related traditional games. So basically we are going to talk about Indonesian traditional games involving strategies. We talked a little bit about strategies yesterday, how to the strategy to win hide and seek, for example, that you hide it inside your home and you ask your mom. I think who shared that strategy yesterday? So we are going to talk more about strategy, even the strategy that you have never done before, but maybe as you are looking at the video or as you are looking at the rules to play particular games, you can think about strategy. So before that, let's recap what we have discussed so far about traditional games, not only from Indonesia, but also from other countries. So in the next slide, as we can see, is that the next slide? Okay. Yeah, so day one, that's not, hold a second. Let me just share my screen because that's not how it looks from my screen. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So so this is it. So yeah, we're doing recap for today. So we are going to start by looking at what we have discussed so far. So on the first day, on Monday, Pak Roel from the Philippines, from Philippine Normal University, talk about local wisdom in PICO as game-based pedagogical strategy in learning foreign language. So those of you who came on the first day, you know that this is PICO in Indonesia. We call it Pol Sundamanda Engkle or things like that. And Pak Roel from the Philippines talk about local wisdom, how to use a game, traditional game, as pedagogical strategy. And then on day 2, we have Ms. Nguyen Thi Quang Linh, MA from Vietnam National University. And as all of you can recall, that she talked about traditional games in Vietnam and Indonesia. So can you still, those who came on day 2, do you still remember what games that Ms. Lin compared? Anyone? Do you still remember? Or anyone from Indonesia, maybe you still remember? Because she compared traditional games in Vietnam and Indonesia. Can anyone remember the game? Nobody remember the game?
Cici Caca.
Right, Cici Caca. What else?
Yeah, Chongkla.
Mangkala or Chongkla. What else? Anyone else remember? Cinciripit in Indonesia, right?
Cinciripit.
Yeah, Cinciripit. So in Vietnam, it's called Chichi Chan Chan. And then we also have Gobat Sodor. In Vietnam, it's called Choi Keo. Do you still remember? Oh, I should read the chat. Yeah, Chongkla. Pavel and Sergio remember Chongkla, right? Chongkla or Mangkala. That's on day 2. On day 3, so Dr. Sukarni Suryaningsih from Undip, from Diponegoro University, talk about Japanese folk game song in traditional games. So if you still recall, can you still recall the name, the title of the songs or the game that was being played in Bu Yaning presentation?
Macapat?
Mochapat, right, exactly. So Mochapat. So Bu Yaning divided, so in Bu Yaning explanation, she divided tembang or songs, in the Japanese songs, into 2 broad categories. So songs that are used in playing traditional games, and also songs that are not used in playing traditional games. And Mochapat is one of the song. It's part of the song. It's actually a collection of songs that are not used in playing traditional games. Right, Nisha, remember Mochapat, and I saw Batok. Yes, so Sluku Batok actually. Right, Nisha, right, Sluku Batok. Can you still remember the tune maybe? Nisha, Sluku Batok? So Sluku Batok Lailo. So that's one of the songs. I don't, yeah, you don't remember the tune. That's okay. So yeah, on day 3, we learned a lot about Japanese folk game song in traditional games. And the game that was being shown, presented to us on day 3 was Jamuran. So remember that how in the game, children the game actually can be used as, well, we can say teaching lessons, because children playing jamuran, they try to imitate, they identify characteristics of animal, probably the sound or the behavior of animals, a bird, for example, or monkey climbing a tree. So the game also boosts creativity. And yesterday, very interactive discussion that you had yesterday is from Pak Rido Laksono from Diponegoro University. And he talked about traditional games in Java. So in English, we call it Java Island, Javanese language, Javanese culture. But we here in Indonesia, we call it Jawa. So there were a number of games that Pak Arido discussed. And most of you also had similar games in your countries. You have, I think you from India, from Pakistan, from Russia, you have similar games. Probably not exactly the same, but they're similar. So this is the list of traditional games that we have discussed this week. So we have Tapak Gunung or Piko. We have Chongkla. So here is the presentation from Ms. Len. So Chongkla or An Quan, Ching Chiripit or Chi Chi Chan Chan from Vietnam, Gobak Sodor or Choi Kyo. And then Jamuran is the game discussed by Bu Yaning, Bu Sukarni Suryaningsih. And we have a number of games being discussed by Pak Arido. So Gundu or Setinan, this is marble, playing marble. I believe that most of you also know how to play marble. And then we talk also about peta umpet or hide and seek, Sundamanda or anklet, egrang or stilts, bakya or clocks, and ular naga panjang. Right, Sasha said that some are exactly same like hide and seek, tapo, and cheetah. Right, exactly. So yeah, somehow we share exactly the same games, even though we use different language for sure, and even though we have different cultural background, but somehow there are similar traditional games that we share in different countries. So from all of the games listed here, which ones do you think are the most interesting ones, or probably the ones that you like a lot, probably your favorites, because you played the game as a kid? Anyone share which of these games listed here, the games that we have discussed, that you like the most, or probably that that you like the most for various reasons? For example, probably because Chongkla. So Chongkla, yeah, Chitra. Why do you like Chongkla best?
Because I've played it many times. Till now we play the game. Whenever we get free time with my mom or with my with my aunt, we play that game. And I'm teaching my kids also how to play. So I like that game very much.
Right. So you're still playing the games up to now?
Yes. From my kid, when I was a kid, we used to play it. Still we are playing it. So it's a interesting game. It's where we can with some strategy we can win more of the whichever we use, either the seed or the stones or the shells. It's some strategy. It's a good strategy. If you are playing for a long time, just we know which one we take, we can get more.
Right.
If there is time to start with this from this place, we can win it. We get more seeds like that.
Right.
Interesting.
Right, Chitra. So with the game like Chongkla, I think practice makes perfect, right? If you play so many times, then you can recall, you can remember the strategy that which
the strategy from which place we take, we can win. And if we take from some place, how we can make the other party can lose. Lose more. With the strategy to make them get like that.
Right. Yeah. You can share more about your strategy in playing Chongkla, because Chongkla is also one of the games that we are going to talk about today, about the strategy in winning Chongkla. So if you have the strategy, I believe your opponent also, most likely, he or she will also know the strategy and then how to combat.
If I play with my aunties and even my great aunts, they know this to take. When I was a kid, I was like always losing it. I didn't know that actual strategy, how to play it. So then they thought, this is how you play. You take from this box and you start from them, and this way you can win more. And if you are even in a losing part, still if you are playing with the strategical plan, we can win.
Right. Yeah. So both parties playing the games have strategies, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Chitra. We're going to talk more about that when we discuss Chongkla, when we're discussing Chongkla after this. Thank you, Chitra.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So other participants, which of these games do you like the best, or your favorite, or probably brings out good memories? Yes, anyone? Because one of you, I believe somebody from Pakistan yesterday also shared a video about playing ular naga panjang in Indonesia. All right, so we have Sasha. I have Sasha here. The favorite is hide and seek. I think Sasha, you were the one sharing the strategy to win hide and seek yesterday, right? Sasha, are you there? Oh no, so you okay, so it was not used. Okay, so why do you like hide and seek the best, Sasha? Yes, Sasha Aslam. Why hide and seek? I think we can find hide and seek being played all over the world, I believe, not only in Asia, but also in Europe. Right? and also in America. Okay, Sasha, are you there? Would you like to share the reason why you like hide and seek the best? Well, that's okay. If you don't want to share right now, you can share later. Okay, so these are the games that we have talked about and we have discussed. And next, so, oh, I'm sorry, Sasha, that you have connection issues. Yeah, it happens sometimes. So, okay, hopefully later you can have a better connection so that you can share with us more, Sasha. Okay, so part of what we discussed this week, the concern that children nowadays, they tend to prefer playing inside using their gadget. So one of the strategy, we are talking about strategy. So for preserving traditional games is to include traditional games into school curriculum, at least for elementary school students. But here in Indonesia, so the president of Indonesia, Jokowi, he is also concerned about children not playing outside, not playing traditional games, children being busy with their gadget. So that's why about 5 years ago, she invited children to the palace, to the national palace, and play traditional games with children. So there are 3 traditional games being played here in this video, as you can see. Let's look together. Let's watch together this very short video. Yeah, so there are 3 games and we discussed about 2 of them. So we didn't talk about this. So this is using tire. See, but this is Gobak Sodor. We talk about Gobak Sodor. And also the 3rd game being played is this one. And this is, we call it Anklet. This is similar to the game being discussed on day 1, which is Pico, right? And so Twitter, this is a posting from, again, the president of Indonesia, Jokowi. This is a poster for Children Day, National Children Day. So this is Selamat Hari Anak Nasional, Happy National Children Day. So look at the picture. So how many traditional games can you recognize here? Anyone? Do you recognize any traditional games being depicted on this picture, on this poster?
That's Chongplat.
Right. Citra's
And
favorite game.
And this hopscotch, Pico.
Right. This is Chongkla and this is hopscotch, Pico game. We call it Anklet
And this
here.
game is Andrew told us, I forgot the name of this, sorry. This kind band, he told us, I forgot the name about that. And it's the football, they're playing the football also. And
So-
then there's another game near that, I don't know the name of that.
So anyone else can help maybe? Yeah, Shonisha, 3, but you don't remember the name. That's fine. So this is Chongkla, this is Pico, this is football. Yeah, in the United States, they call it soccer. This is football. And this is, do you remember what this is?
I think it is the marble gundu.
Right, gundu or setinan. So they are playing games as setinan. So Fazal, you think there are 7 games? Great. So please help us identifying the 7 games that you can identify from this picture. Fazal, would you like to say directly to us the 7 games that you can identify on this picture? Yes, Fazal, I hope you don't have any internet connection issue. So we have Chongkla, we have Pico. Oh, right, yeah, it's Muharram. Your connection is so bad. Okay, yeah, because of Muharram. So let me know why this is Muharram. So we also, in Indonesia, we also recognize Muharram month. But why, because of Muharram, then the internet connection is so bad? Is it because so many people are using internet connection?
No, there are a lot of protests and a lot of fights in protest. That's why connection is very bad in these days.
Oh, I see. Because there are so many podcasts related to Muharram month. Okay, yeah. Thank you for letting us know. So, but yeah, let's see. There are 7. So we have Chongkla, we have Pico, we have marble, so 3, football 4, and this is jumping rope and playing ship over here, boat or ship. And what else? Swimming, if we can consider swimming as game as well. I think it's also game. Basically, game is something that children play for fun. Okay, so as you can see here, the tagline from the tweet from the president is generasi terbaik bangsa. Here, let me see. Generasi terbaik bangsa selalu lahir dari zaman yang memberi tempat yang lapang bagi setiap anak untuk bertumbuh bebas, cerdas, dan ceria. If you don't know Indonesian language, most of you can speak Indonesia. So this is the translation. So according to the president, according to Pak Jokowi, the nation's best generation is always born from an era that provides ample space for every child to grow up freely, intelligently, and cheerfully. Do you agree with this statement? Games, playing is it's an important part of children growth. So when children grow up playing games, there are so many advantages that the children can earn. And also the translation for the next sentence is protection and opportunity for children to develop is the stake for the future of the nation. So here in Indonesia, even the president and the first lady, they pay attention to give opportunities for children to play, because by playing, children can grow up freely, intelligently, and cheerfully. Okay, so today's topic is strategy-related traditional game. And we are going to talk about 5 games. So this is the first one. As you can see, this is Gobak Sodok. And I bet all of you recognize this as Chongkla or Mangkala. This, maybe you don't immediately recognize this game. That's from Indonesia. What do you think this game is? Anyone? What do you think?
Is it jaga banteng or
Jaga
bantengan?
yeah,
Bentengan.
bentengan, right, bentengan. Yeah, this is fourth game. So bentengan, jaga benteng. And what about this one? Anyone recognize this game? I played this game as a kid. So in Central Java, we call it Dino Boy, but in other parts of Indonesia, they call it Boy Boyan. And the last game that we are going to talk about, but the strategy, this is Pekalan. Yes, bola bekel. So we are going to talk about 3 outdoor games related to physical activities and 2 indoor games. So because usually when we play here, Pekalan and Chongkla or Dakon, we do it indoors. And we're talking about strategy. So the dictionary definition of strategy is a plan of action or policy designed to achieve a major or overall aim. Oh, Pito, yeah, Boy Boyan, that's Pito Poda in India. So which one is Pito Poda? Suchi? So which one is Pito Poda? The first, second, third, fourth, or the 5th game? Suchi? Is it Pito Poda is the Boy Boyan? Well, we'll talk about that when we come to that particular game. So strategy, dictionary definition of strategy is a plan of action or policy designed to achieve a major or overall aim. Yes, Suchi, you're there. So let's talk more about Pito Poda when we come to that game. A plan of action or policy designed to achieve a major overall aim. Of course, as children, we don't really think conceptually about strategy, even though we also apply strategy when we play games, whatever games that we play, especially when the games involve competition. Oh, I see. So third one. Oh, okay. Boy Boyan is pictogram in Pakistan and Pito Poda in India. Great. So if you have the same game in India and in Pakistan, so we can talk more about the strategy to win the game. Okay. Let's turn to Gobak Sodor. So this is Gobak Sodor. So if we talk about the names, Gobak is to move freely and Sodor is pair. So, and also some people say that it's probably comes from an English sentence, go back through the door, but because it's probably difficult for some of Indonesian or Javanese people to say, to pronounce the English sentence correctly. So that's why go back through the door becomes Gobak Sodor. So basically going back through the door according to the rules of the game. So we know that every game has its own rules and we need to follow the rules. So the previous presenters have talked about that usually there are rules followed by all the participants of the game. So when we talk about Gobak Sodor, so the philosophy of this game is to move like the spears of the heroes in the colonial era that moved to escape from the invaders. So this game requires a strategy to be free from the opponent's intercepts to achieve victory. So Indonesia, we were colonized by the Dutch for 3.5 centuries. So this game, this traditional game also represents the heroism in Indonesia. So here the philosophy is to move like the spears of the heroes in the colonial era that moved to escape from the invaders. So we need strategy to be free from the opponent's intercepts to achieve victory. So I'm going to play this video to remind us again about how to play Gobak Sodor.
permainan ini dimainkan oleh dua tim, yaitu tim penjaga dan tim penyerang. Setiap tim terdiri dari 3 sampai 5 orang. Tim hari ini sedang menggunakan 3 orang, yaitu aku, Bella, dan Alex. Untuk bermain, kita perlu menggunakan area bermain dengan menggunakan kapur. Area bermain ini berbentuk persegi panjang yang dibagi menjadi 6 kotak. Sekarang dilakukan tim penjaga dan penyerang. Kami menentukannya dengan squid batu dan kertas. Batu menang lawan putih itu menjadi penyerang. Tim penjaga menjaga garis dan menghalangi tim penyerang untuk garis akhir. Penjaga harus bergerak di garis lintasan yang benar. Tidak boleh melewati atau keluar dari garis tersebut.
Okay, so that's how to play Gobak Sodor. So Dayung, I hope I pronounce your name correctly. So Dayung in the chat room said that it's Squid Game, and you might watch the same title on the drama series on Netflix. Yeah, so Dayung also shared with us a picture, a diagram of the similar game. So it's interesting. So would you like to say more about this game, Dayung? I hope you don't have any internet connection issue. Yes. Dayung. And also please correct my pronunciation if I don't say it correctly. Oh, you're at the office, so unable to speak, maaf. Right. Thank you. But thank you. You've been very active. Yeah, so it's Squid Game in South Korea. Thank you. Now, after looking at the illustration on how to play Gobak Sodor, let's turn to the real game. I mean, the video of a real game. So these are children playing games. Yeah, Taeyong unfortunately forgot how to play it exactly. So while looking at these children playing Gobak Sodor, I want you to think, if you have played it, so you know the strategy. If you have not played the game, you have seen how to play the rules on playing this game, and this is an example of how children playing the game. So think about strategy. What kind of strategy do you think you can apply if you are one of the children playing this game? Let's look at the video. Let's watch the video together. So there are 5 people in each group. Okay, so anyone? Do you have any strategy in winning this game? Anyone? Is there any strategy watching these children? I think the pace is not so fast. So this seems to be hesitant to move. So what do you think? Do you have any thought on how to strategically winning this game? Yeah, it seems like a bit difficult game, but interesting. Yeah, Mukadas. Yeah, so Mukadas, what do you think? If you were one of the player here, so what would you do in order to go through all of these doors? So go back through the doors. So can you share any strategy that you would play if you were playing this game? Or anyone else? Anyone? No idea yet? Okay, that's fine. So sometimes when we do the game, then we have more idea on how to, maybe a fat and powerful children can guard easily. Right, maybe a fat and powerful children, because then the fat children, they can cover more space to prevent the opponent to move through the lines. Right. Other thought about how to win this game? So to guard the line, probably fat and powerful children, but probably to go through all of those lines, maybe we need, I think in Kabaddi, we have to be more active, run as fast as we can to knock down the opponent, right? So yes, we need to be more active and to be, Also, Ilham, there must be a 2-person to outwit their opponent, right? So this game involves teamwork. So how to trick the opponents so that we can move freely if we are the one playing the game to move through all of these lines, all of these boxes. Right. Okay, so this is Kobak Sodor. So let's turn to the next slide, the next game. So here we have the next game is what we call Betengan. And so Beteng or Benteng is fortress. So Betengan is a traditional group game that requires dexterity, running speed, and a reliable strategy. Again, we're talking about strategy today. So each player must run to guard the fort and catch the opponent. The main objective of this game is to attack and take over the opponent's fortress or base. So similar to Kobak Sodor, there are 2 teams playing this game. So in Betengan, so each team has a fortress or base that they need to protect, and the opponent need to take over the fortress or the base. So this is how to play the game. So each groups, excuse me, its groups consist of 4 to 8 people. So each group chooses a pillar as fortress or headquarters. It can be a pole, it can be a tree, it can be anything that we can make as a fortress or headquarters or base. So around the fort, there is a safe area for groups that have pillars or pillars. If they're in the safe area, they don't need to be afraid of being hit by an opponent. So in this picture here, so around this fortress, around this pole is safe area. So you are safe. You will not be hit by your opponent. So the group members will try to touch the opponent and make him captive or caught. So they're going to run and try to catch the opponent. Players must often return and touch their fortress because their captor and the captive are determined from the last time they touched the fort. So if you leave your fort and then your opponent touches his own fort and then he touches you, then you lose. You become the captive or you get caught. The person closest to the time to touch the fort has the right to become a captor. They can chase and touch members of the opponent to make prisoners. So the winner is the group that can touch the opponent's pillar or pillar and shout the word fortress. So anyone, do you have similar games in your country? Anyone, do you have similar games in your country? Petengan? Or maybe we can look first at a video of this game. So Shashia from Pakistan, she doesn't think that Pakistan has the similar game. Okay, let's look at the video. Let's watch the video together.
Untuk itulah para pemuda desa Taman Sari, Sampit Ponorogo, menghidupkan kembali permainan ini. Bahkan mereka mengemas permainan tradisional betengan dalam bentuk turnamen yang digelar di lapangan desa setempat. Betengan sendiri merupakan permainan dan olahraga tradisional yang dimainkan oleh 2 tim, di mana setiap tim terdiri dari 5 orang. Di lapangan dengan ukuran 20 kali 10 meter yang masing-masing tim harus bertahan dari gempuran tim lawan agar benteng yang dijaganya tidak tersentuh lawan. Selain itu, masing-masing tim juga harus mengatur strategi untuk menggoda tim lawan agar meninggalkan bentengnya. Dalam hal ini, setiap anggota tim terkadang harus adu sprint lari karena dikejar oleh tim lawan. Sementara anggota tim lainnya juga harus atur strategi untuk menyentuh tiang guna memenangkan pertandingan. Perlombaan betengan ini dimaksudkan untuk menghidupkan seni olahraga dan permainan tradisional yang saat ini mulai ditinggalkan oleh anak-anak muda. Dengan adanya turnamen ini juga diharapkan anak-anak mengetahui bagaimana aturan dan keseruan dalam permainan betengan. Berbagai permainan tradisional memang sudah mulai ditinggalkan. Meskipun beragam, permainan tersebut melatih ketangkasan dan strategi guna memenangkan permainan. Dinar Putra Perdana, Ponorogo, Sakti TV.
Okay, so anyone, do you have similar game? So yeah, so anyone from the Philippines, maybe Bentengan Agawan base, is that right? So that's a question from us here in Indonesia to anyone from the Philippines? Citra, so Klilitatu. Kilitatu. Okay.
Kilitatu.
Yeah, yeah.
It is a language. It is like the same. It is somewhat same, but there's not a focus. Just we make a big circle and we keep some stones. And there is two teams which is outside and something which is guarding the stone. The team which is outside, they have to come inside and take the stone outside.
I see.
There will be like 4 or 5 stones which should be kept, like which should be guarded. They'll be guarding that 4 or 5 person will be guarding that stone, like it will be like a stone. So the other team has to come inside and take it. They have to try to take it. If they take, they win. If they are unable to take, the team which is guarding, they win. It goes like that.
Right, right. So similar. So yeah, similar game.
Yeah, similar like this. The other team has to come inside. It will be in the center. They have to come inside and try to take the whichever thing they kept inside, the stone or whatever thing which you can keep. And mostly use the stones which we keep and we got. And the other team has to come inside and take it. It is called Kilitatu.
Oh, Kilitatu. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Chitra.
Yes, yes.
Right. Yeah, Miss Land asks a question. Do players say anything when they attack the opponent team? I don't think so. So we don't say anything when we attack the opponent team, right? We just touch. And you know, this is we need to be honest as well. Because so let's say if we are far away from each teams, when we're far away from the base, then we need to be honest to acknowledge that actually I recently touched my base, so I can be the captor, something like that. So yeah. What I know is that we don't say anything, right? Anyone from Indonesia, or do we say anything when we touch an opponent and make him or her into a captive? No. So yes, so we don't say anything. So there is no song and we don't say anything. Even when we take over. So when we take over the base, when we can touch the fortress or the base, we win. Or we can have, so there are a number of things, there are a number of parameters for us to win the game. So if we have a lot of captive, then we can win the game. Or if we can touch the fortress of our opponent, then we can win the game as well. Anyone else would like to share about strategy? In Vietnam, we have a similar game like this, but the player from attack team should say, ooh, without stop. If they stop saying, they will be caught. Oh, interesting. So would you like to say more about this? So this is like a variation of the same game. Yes, Miss Lan, would you like to say more? No, so yes, it is interesting. We don't say anything. Okay, yeah, thank you, Miss Lynn. So yes. Would you repeat what you just said? Okay, so maybe there's some connection problem, some connection issue. Okay, let's move to the next game. So we have Dino Boy or Boy Boyan. So this is the picture. So Dino Boy Boyan. So basically, the game begins with stacking up several stone plates or tile shards. The number of tiles is usually 10. So as we can see here, so usually we stack the stone plates or tile shards. And again, this is competitive game. There are 2 teams. The group that plays first must throw a pile of tiles from a predetermined distance. The distance is not too far or too close, about 10 meters from the pile of tiles. The pile of tiles must partially collapse or all of them be scattered. If it is scattered, The children who are playing must run away from the ball and steal the opportunity to reassemble the scattered tiles. So yeah, so basically usually we use tennis ball because we'll get hit by the ball, and with tennis ball it's relatively small, so it will not hurt us when we get hit by the ball. Yes, Ms. Lin, thank you. So the game rules is similar, but one time just one player sits at the office. Yeah, thank you. Yes, one player in one time. So that's also in Vietnam and in Pakistan are the same. Okay, let's move back to Dino Boya Boya Boyan. So the task of the group on guard is to hunt down the children from the opposing group by throwing the ball to hit the limbs. So the group playing, they will try to arrange again the stack, and the opponent should prevent that from happening. So the task of the group on guard is to hunt down the children from the opposing group by throwing the ball to hit the limbs. There are no rules which part of the body may or may not be thrown because the ball used does not injure, but hitting face or genitals is not permissible, and all children know that. The ball can be passed from one child to another who is closer to the child from the opposing group. When the opponent tries to arrange the tiles, the ball must be thrown. So basically, the group wins when they can rearrange this stack. If it consists of 10, then all 10 pieces are there, then the group wins. This is a video of the game. Okay, so yeah, we have, so in India, it's called, Chitra said that it's India, it's called Seven Stones and play the same. Nisha said that it's Pittu in India. And what is the name again in Pakistan? So Saja, I think you mentioned before that it's called something else in Pakistan. So, okay, so meaning that some of you have already played the game. So could you tell us the strategy? Yeah, pictogram in Pakistan. So pictogram in Pakistan, Pitu in India, 7 stones in India. So what is the strategy that we can use to win this game? Anyone would like to share your strategy in winning this game?
Actually, the strategy will be like playing together by coordinating with the teammates. That with the help of the teammates, there'll be like one person who can stack it, the others have to save him from getting hit by the stone. So he'll be able to stack the stones again. Once it is fallen, he has to stack the stone. So the other teammate has to save him before getting hit. So it should be played in a way where the opponent throw the ball in the opposite direction to the other person. So the person who can stack it, go and stack it and come back.
Right. So there should be coordination among teammates, right? So that
among the team, so that they'll be able to stack the stone without getting hit.
Right. So we need to coordinate with our teammates to distract the. So one person can try to get hit by the ball, of course, avoiding to be hit by the ball, so that another person can arrange the tile, something like that, right?
Yes.
Other strategy, or those of you who have played the game, do you have any experience, funny experience, probably or interesting experience about playing this game? That maybe you got hit by the ball and probably it hurt. It shouldn't, but sometimes it hurt. Sometimes playing games involve injuries as well. So anyone, do you have any experience of getting injured while playing traditional games? It doesn't have to be this game, but probably other games that involve physical activities. Or maybe if you don't like someone, then you can use this game to take revenge. So you can hit hard the person that you don't like. Well, that's an evil thought. I'm sorry, but it's possible. So anyone, would you like to share an experience about playing traditional games that involves hitting someone? Anyone, maybe anyone from Indonesia or the Philippines, Pakistan? We have a participant from many countries. So anyone? Anyone who has not said anything or who has not written anything in the chat room, maybe you can share, you would like to share? We have Christian, you, Francisco. Or anybody else? No? Okay. If you don't have any experience to share, basically the strategy is by trying not to get hit and trying to coordinate with your teammates so that the ball is moving in different direction from the one who's trying to arrange the tiles. Okay, so those are the 3 outdoor games that involve strategy. So now let's talk about 2 indoor games. So indoor games, it doesn't mean that indoor games are played only by girls, but they can also played by boys and girls. So when involving adults, teenagers or adults, actually all of the physical outdoor games that we just talked about, they can be played by either male or female participants. Next, let's talk about Chongkla. So we talk about Chongkla a lot this week. Miss Lan compared Chongkla to Vietnamese game. So here, so this is familiar picture for all of you, I believe. And when we are talking about the board, the congklak board in Indonesia, we have different kinds of congklak board usually made from wood, but it can also be made from plastic. Nowadays, it seems like everything can be made of plastics. Here, I brought, this is not mine. This is my nephew and niece's congklak, and it's made of plastics. So when I was a kid, mine was made from wood, and it's kind of heavy because it was made of wood, but this one is very light and it's made of plastic. So this is congklak, or in Java, we call it dakon. And when I was a kid, we use seeds, natural seeds from fruits, but my nephew and my niece, they use plastic as well. So they keep it here. And these are, yeah, again, this is from plastic. And, oh, they also collect this one. I don't know where they got it from. Maybe they went to the beach. But yeah, so made of plastic or made of wood. And here, there's also some congklak board which look fancy, like this one. It's made of wood and with more like sculpture, wooden sculpture. And yeah, let's look again and how to play congklak. Okay, so this is congklak. So we have talked about this a number of times, and earlier today, you already shared about strategy. Again, practice makes perfect for this kind of game. And it involves arithmetic skills, mathematics skills, because then we need to count the number of seeds in which hole that we pick for you for us to distribute. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about this game again. So Oh Angkwan is the name of the same game. Yeah, I think yeah, Miss Land shared that. Yeah, Oh Angkwan, right. So can anyone share the strategy? So here in the example, it starts from the middle. So there are 7 holes that we have for each player. So when we start from this middle hole, we will end up by occupying these seats from the opponent hole, right? But then we need to give the turn to our opponent. So is there any specific strategy that you have tried to win this game? Yes, anyone? So the video said that Malaysia, Thailand, and share the same game, but we know that Vietnam also has this game because Miss Lan has already talked about that, comparing Chongkla in Indonesia and O An Quan in Vietnam. Anyone, would you like to share? Because I would like to try. I would like to try the strategy. What I usually do when I play, I start from the end hole, because then I can end at the house and then I pick other holes to play. So when I play the game as a kid, I usually try to keep playing as long as possible. So I will try to count. I would try to count the number of seats so that it would give me more opportunities to keep on playing, not to give my turn to the opponent. So what about you? Because the goal is to accumulate as many seats as possible, right? But I wanted to play as long as possible as a kid instead of accumulating the most seats. Anyone? What is the strategy? For those who have played so many times? Yes, from India or from Pakistan?
Hi, this is Chitra again.
Yes, please, Chitra.
Actually, in India, this is a little bit different. In our side, we play it a little bit different, not this way. We use 5 seats each, and we don't have the big one. Only the small 7. And we have to play only one way. We can go only one way. We can't go back.
Oh, okay.
We take if we take from 5 seats, we just drop it, and we take it from the nearby. Again, we drop it, and if that is empty, we take it the nearby. We can take the seat. So then only the opponent will get the turn. That's how we play it, and usually go with the third one. So when I start from there, I'll be able to take more seats from the opponent side. This I can take. I can go for a long time, because starting from the third one, I'll go for a long time. If it's started from the 5th, I'll end up with empty-handed. When I come back, I'll come up. If there is two holes without seat, we can't take anything. If there is one hole empty, we can take the second one, the nearby one.
I see.
So this
Okay.
is a little bit different that way.
Right. Yeah.
And the rules also a little bit different.
Right. Thank you, Chitra. So a little bit different, and also the rules are also somewhat different. right? But
Yes, 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 yes.
the idea is the same, that we
Idea
try
is the
to
same.
accumulate
We have
the
to collect more fruits, but idea is the same, the way it is done. But the rules and the way it is played is little bit different.
Right, right. So yeah, we have learned also from Miss Land presentation that in Vietnam it's also somewhat
Yeah,
different.
it is also a little bit different.
Yeah, so here in Indonesia, we usually play like this. So with the house, that we store all of our seeds in the house. So this is the accumulation of the seeds that we have in our house that contribute to our winning the game. But I once also watched a similar game. So they don't have the house, but they have a box. So each player has a box to keep the seeds. So
yes, we don't have the bigger ones. We don't have in India. Also. The bigger pot, we don't use the bigger pot. It is just 7 plain ones. So we don't put it into the bigger ones. We just collect it and keep it in the separate box.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Thank you,
That's how
Chitra. Anyone from Indonesia? I believe that all of Indonesian children play, especially girls, play dakon. So do you have any experience, or maybe from other countries? So from Pakistan, maybe? Or here from Indonesia, Punti, would you like to say something about your experience?
Okay, I used to play dakon so often when I was in kindergarten, and my friend used to be really apa ya,
expert.
Yeah, she's really expert, and she don't stop to play it. No one can stop her to play it. Like we always defeated by her, and no one want to play with her in this dakon. And I don't know what strategy she did the time, but I really, I don't know, maybe maybe she used to like to play it in her home, maybe, I don't know it.
Yeah,
Atau
right.
mungkin dia curang, Bu.
Maybe she was cheating.
She's cheating. Yeah, maybe she's cheating.
Right. Yeah, playing games should be fun, but when we need to take turn in playing the game, when it takes too long for us to get the turn, it becomes boring, right? Waiting for our turn, it's not fun anymore, right? Yeah. Sasha have not played such game in her childhood. So thank you, Punti. Anyone else would like to share your experience in playing dakon or chongkla or mangkala or whatever it is, or an quan in Vietnam? Anyone else would like to share his or her experience? Korea style chongkla tool, but it's not for a game, but for a cookie. Interesting. So, I see. Yeah, so this look, well, it reminds me of muffin. I think when we make cupcakes, we also have this kind of right. This is it looks like chongkla. Wow, looks yummy. So yeah, maybe we should order this.
In another country, they don't use the tools like us, Miss Edna. They use sampah or bamboo, and you draw it, and you just menaruh ini.
Yeah, you put the seeds.
Ya, cuma pakai gambar aja. Jadi kayak engklek gitu. They don't use the wood tools or plastic tools. They just use, like sampah and draw it with like
chalk.
chalk, yes, and you just menggarisnya, you draw the line,
draw lines,
draw the line, and just use the seed. Apa nih? Yeah.
Right,
So-
right. So we can always be creative, right? Punti is right that in other countries they probably do not need to have the congklak board because yeah, if we don't have the congklak board, it doesn't mean that we cannot play it because we can always draw. We can always draw the shapes, the same shapes, and the holes or everything to play congklak. Right. Yeah. So I'm I'm still looking at the cookies. So maybe we can try to buy these cookies online, maybe, because I've never seen these shaped in Indonesia. Sarsha said that they have such type of shapes for making ice cubes, right? So yeah, right. We can use the same thing to shape cookies or to shape ice cubes. Right.
In Korea, they call it bukkopang. Is it right, Jejun? Bukkopang. Is it right?
Bukkopang.
The cookie shape fish in the fish shape, and you can fill it with kacang tanah apa ya?
Red bean.
Red bean, yeah. Is it right?
See.
Is it right, Jejun? And it's really yummy. I used to eat it at the all you can eat restaurant, and they serve it, and it's really yummy.
Okay, so you have tried it, you have tasted these cookies. I have not. Okay. Right. I think there's also in Japan, there's also a cookie snack with fish shaped. Yeah. How do you pronounce it? Bungeopang? Bungeopang. Okay. So I should try to find it. Okay, so that's about congklak. Let's move to our final game for today. So the final game is we call it bekalan. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so bekalan. So here, so we need the bekel, the ball, and the bekel. If we don't have those, we cannot play the game. This game. So this is we call bekalan. So a bekel set consists of one large bekel ball. So this is the ball, the size of ping pong ball, and 6 to 10 bekel seeds. So so this is from the Dutch, actually. We have Dutch influence here in this claim. Bekel comes from the Dutch word bikkelen, which means slamming bones. So yeah, I cannot imagine slamming bones. I don't play such games with slamming bones, but this is the origin of the word. So slamming bones. So it consists of one large bekel ball and 6 to 10 bekel seeds. And this is the picture of the balls. The balls are usually colorful. And these are the bekel seeds. I brought it here. I bought some sets for my nieces, but this one, I bought it for myself because it reminds me of my childhood. So this is the ball, as you can see. So here in the picture, on the picture, they have just yellow or red. But my ball, as you can see, it has various colors. It has red, yellow, green, dark green. So when I was a kid, I used to also soak the ball in kerosene, and the ball would get bigger. So I don't know whether children nowadays in Indonesia practice that as well. But this is a small ball. If we soak it into the kerosene for a few days, then the ball would get bigger and it would bounce better. And there are two types actually of the seeds. So in the picture, this is the one that you can see from the picture, but we also have another type, similar, but different material. So yeah, usually we have about 8 to 10. So whether all of those yellow one or just like gray is one. So the bekel ball is made of rubber, colored, colorful, and has a diameter of approximately 3 centimeters, something like this. And bekel seeds, some are made of brass or tin. There are also those made of plastic. I've never seen bekel seeds made of plastic. So, but from tin or brass, something like this. So this is the basic techniques for playing bekel ball. And if you have never played this game, believe it or not, it's a bit challenging in the beginning. Because when I tried to teach my nieces to play bekelan, they found it difficult because you have to throw the ball and then grab the seeds and then spread the seeds, and you have to do it at the same time. And it's not easy to do at the first attempts, but of course it's possible to do. So the ball and all the bekel seeds must be held with only one hand. So that's the thing. You have to hold the seeds and the ball only with one hand. So I see that in different countries, they can hold the ball or the seed with two hands. So they throw the ball and then they catch the ball with left hand and then keep the seeds in the right hand. But in Indonesia, you can only use one hand to hold the bekel seeds and the ball. So, and then we need to throw the ball so that it's bounced. And after the ball is bounced up and can only bounce once, it can only bounce once. If the ball bounces twice, then you lose. You lose your turn, and then you will give the turn to your opponent. When the ball is not in the hand, all bekel seeds are released or spread. The ball is caught again. So basically, you throw the ball when your ball is not in your hand, and then you spread the seeds, and then you catch the ball again. And then you bounce the ball again. The ball bounces again when the ball is still in an inflated position, not yet in hand. The player takes or processes the bekel seeds. In the process of taking or setting bekel, the ball or hands may not touch other bekel. So that is the tricky part. So we cannot, when we take a bekel seed or two bekel seeds, depending on which step we are in the game, so we cannot touch the other seeds that we are not meant to take. So in the process of catching the bekel ball, the hands may not touch other limbs in an effort to prevent the bekel seed in your hand from falling. So let's say you have 5 seeds in your hand, and then you throw the ball. You cannot use your hand to help the seeds not from falling from your hand. So basically, you can only use one hand only. You cannot use 2 hands. So this is only played by one hand. If you violate one of the rules above, the player will lose his turn and switch to another player. So with Dakon, maybe we need to wait a long time if our friend is an expert in playing Dakon. In bekelan, it's also the same. Sometimes we can find a friend who is so expert in playing bekel. So with Dakon, excuse me, with Dakon there are only 2 players. But with bekelan, we can play with multiple players, but we will have to wait for our turn in playing the bekel. So, so this is the rules. So again, we can do home pimpa or rock, paper, scissors to decide who will play first. So in bekel ball games, it's usually divided into 3 sets or 3 rounds, namely me, pit, and raw. So me is a term for taking bekel seeds without setting the seeds on a certain surface. So just take from number 1 to the maximum number of bekel seeds. So basically we just spread the seeds and then we take it one by one. And when we finish taking all of them one by one, we spread it again. And then we take it 2 by 2 and then spread again 3 by 3. We with no particular position of the seat. So that's, we call it me. But then after the backup seat are spread, the player must position the backup seat so that the pit part, so this is the pit part. So like this. So this is the position, it should be like this. This is the pit part. So the second round called pit, so we spread the seats and then we need to move it into this position. So if we spread together, oops, I dropped my ball. So, and then we need to position the seat in pit position, something like this. And after its position in this position, then we start taking the seat again. After that, the next round will be raw. So instead of like this, we put it upside down. So now the position is like this. So the first one is pit, but the second one is raw. So you spread all of the seats and then you position into raw position, and then you start taking 1 by 1, 2 by 2, etc. There are also backup games which are not only me, pit, and raw, but it is continued with the next 3 rounds, namely chin, pang, and naskopel. The position, so this is like straight position, chin, pen, and gospel is something like this. So here, so this is pit position, upside down raw position. But as you can see, this side, this is smooth side of the seats, but also we have sides of the seat which has small holes. Can you see in my, so usually it's painted red. Here it's painted red, so it has 2 holes. So that's pang side. The idea is the same. You need to position it into this position or that position. So backup seat position with a smooth surface facing upwards. So instead of like this, we put it like that. So this the top is the smooth surface. With pang, is the position with holes. So with the rough surface facing upwards. So naskopel is arrange the position of backup seat to the pit position, then flip them until they become raw position. So from pit, and then move it into raw, and then turn back into sind, and after that, pang position, and then grab all of them all together, and you win the game. Sounds complicated? No? Okay, so, and this is a video. Let's look at how to play backup. Okay, so yes, that's how to play Pekal. So Sasha from Pakistan said, this game is also played in Pakistan in the same manner. It's called Peri. Right, interesting. So Peri is like a name of a girl, right? Peri, Delavia. So yeah, Sasha, can you tell us about, is there any strategy that you use, you apply in playing Pekalan? Okay, in Korea, Dayung said we also play with one hand. Each player usually normally have 5 marbles. I see. So instead of Pekal that we have in Indonesia, you use small marbles on hand. Okay, interesting. So from other countries, maybe. So I would like to ask, so Shashia, so Barry, is it also, does it, the seeds are also similar to the one that we use in Indonesia, or are they different? Chitra, 5 stones. So we call the previous game, you call it 7 stone, not 5 stones.
Just we use only stones to play it. We use stones, or we use 5 stones, and we play in a similar manner, but we don't use the ball. We use one of the stones and throw it up and take the stone.
Oh, I see. So you're not using a ball, but using all of the stones. So you throw the stones.
It is like, it will be the same size. And we take, just put it down and take one stone and pick up one stone and catch it. We can't touch the nearby stone or anything, and we can't play. Like the same. Everything is the same. But only it will be playing with the stone, and there is no ball. Only we use 5 stones.
Aha, I see. Yeah, interesting. And then we can use any kind of stones then. It doesn't have to be like this.
Of course, but it should be a little bit bigger. Not too small stones or too much bigger. It should be medium in size. And all the stones should be basically same size, not different size.
Right.
Basically, it should be same size.
So basically, we can use stones, but the same size for stones.
Yes.
Yeah, so in Pakistan, it's also played with a ball and with the same stone too. Okay, right. So yeah, because like this, we need to buy, right? Because I don't think I can make this one with this shape, but with stones, it would be easier because then we can try to find stones anywhere around us. Okay, so it's called Panch Patar in India. Okay, 5 stones. And in Korea, using marbles. So using marbles or using stones, or here we call it using Pekal. We call it Pekal. Okay. Yes, you collect stones from roadside. Exactly. I mean, children are usually very creative, and they can use any resources around them, right? Yeah. So yeah, thank you. I'm afraid that's the last game that we discussed today. And I think we already at 5 p.m. So maybe we don't have any question and answer session because we already have Q&A as we went along with the presentation. So thank you everyone for your participation, for your active participation, and also for the lively and interesting discussion. Thank you. I'll give it back to the moderator.
All right. I felt that today's discussion was very interesting. Perhaps when we were kids, we just thought a game were something that is entertaining. The feeling of having friends and wasting time with them were nostalgic as by now. But if you think about it now, some of games teach us careful planning, critical thinking, and strategic decision making, whether the games is played on boards, with cards, or using simple materials or tools like Bekel. And thank you very much, Ma'am Etta, for the knowledge you've given us. So since all the materials from all the speakers have been presented, so this is the last lecture that we have. A little flashback that we've learned culture as general from Mr. Roll, that he told us about some Philippine traditional games. The second day we have Miss Lun from Vietnam to teach us the differences and similarities between Indonesia and Vietnam games. And the third day, we learn about lullabies or traditional songs that is related to the game. And in the 4, we explore more traditional games that surprisingly we have so many things in common. We just name the game differently. And today we gain a new insight about traditional games and its strategies. And hopefully all the lesson we have learned and the topic we have discussed in the last few days can inspire you to do your assignment. As a reminder, tomorrow is your turn to present, share, and tell us about your culture. So prepare your presentation as well, because I believe tomorrow will be super fun. And last but not least, good luck for your presentation, everyone. And Punti, I think we've done, and please take over. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ilham and Miss Eta. Really super fun presentation and really impressive discussion. I'm sure you've got a lot of new insight related to traditional games that involve strategy in it. Thank you so much once more, Miss Eta, for the presentation. And before we end this course, please open your camera for documentation session. You guys can please open your camera, maybe. We can start the documentation session. Pavel from Russia and Sarah Ardevela, Sarfaraz Ali from Pakistan, Sazia Aslam, Pakistan. You guys can open your camera. Targa from Philippines and Indrani from India. Guys, you can open your camera. Muhammad Akif, Nisal Dabral, you can open your camera. Okay, we still wait for the other participant to open their camera so we can take the picture together. Pretty, you guys really pretty. So beautiful, yeah. Okay, guys, please open your camera, maybe. Oke, bisa dimulai sekarang mungkin? Ya, yeah. Maybe we can start from, yeah. So there's just one slide. Okay, let's start. 1, 2, 3. Don't forget to smile. Thank you so much, guys, for opening your camera. And now you guys can fill the attendance link that we've been shared in the chat box. While you fill the attendance link, I want to remind you that you guys have to make a presentation for tomorrow's session, the last day of the summer course. You can make a small presentation in order to share your knowledge related to the courses that have been delivered and share about your country's traditional cultural as well. And I want to inform you that participants who are entitled to get a certificate are those who take part in the course until the end. So congratulations to those of you who take part in this event from beginning to the end. Okay, you guys can fill the attendance link. Since everyone has filled the attendance link, it means we finished our course today. Don't forget to join this meeting again, because tomorrow we will see the presentation from all the participants here. It must be really fun. And thank you so much for your attention and participation. Have a nice day. See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye. See you guys.
Bye.